Hey everyone, this is Jane with Herbal, and in this video, I am going to cover a much loved garden herb, and that is chives. This is also known as Allium sconiaprosum, which is a big mouthful, but part of the fun of learning about herbs and herbal medicine. Now, chives is one of those plants that I would put in the same category as something like the ginkgo biloba tree, because ginkgo is the oldest living tree species. And if I'm wrong about that, and you know something that I don't, leave me a comment and let me know if there's an older living tree species known to man. But chives goes in the same category because we can date back the history of using chives, not just medicinally, but mostly in culinary reasons for cooking and all kinds of things, 5,000 years. So literally centuries and centuries of use. So this is very loved. It's very common to grow chives in your garden, and it's a perennial. It just keeps giving and giving and giving. It comes back every single year, and it will, if you let it propagate, you can gather the seeds and share them or grow them in other places. In fact, many gardeners and people who especially not only have herb gardens, but have vegetable gardens, love to plant chives as well as marigolds around their vegetables, like their tomatoes, their cucumbers, sometimes their squash, whatever tends to get the pests that will go after the vegetables. Marigolds and chives are a favorite of gardeners to keep the pests at bay because they naturally repel them. Now, chives originates from Europe, Asia, and North America, but you can literally grow chives anywhere in the world where you live. And like I said, it's a perennial. It's going to come back every single year. One of the things that I love about chives, and I have this beautiful clump of chives that keeps coming back every year in my garden, is that from spring till fall, till it gets to be the dead of winter, I am out in my garden clipping off a few stalks of chives, chopping it up, using it in my salads, my soups. I do make an amazing herbed butter that has shallots, chives, a little bit of truffle sea salt. I like to use a grass-fed like Kerrygold butter. I'll put the recipe below this. It's just a super yummy herbed butter that goes so well on a really nice filet, a nice ribeye, or even some freshly made sourdough bread. It's the best. And chives is absolutely one of those. So when I'm making this butter, what I do in the winter is I'll go buy a little bunch of chives in the grocery store if I don't have access. And it's an important piece of this recipe. It's just such an easy, beautiful herb to use. And many people will use it for the simple fact of how it garnishes your dish. You can chop up a bunch of chives, sprinkle it over any dish, and it just adds this pop of green and a beautiful, beautiful flavor. Plus, it has a ton of health benefits. Now, because chives have been around and used for so many years, it has a ton of rich history. In fact, one of the things that I love about it is in medieval times, they would hang up bunches of chives to ward off evil spirits and witches, which is, I always find that at this point so humorous and a little bit amusing, because I think many of us who love herbs on this level, which is becoming more and more common, we feel like we're kind of modern day witches because we're gathering things out of the garden, we're mixing up brews and potions and lotions and tinctures and all kinds of decoctions, and we are like modern day beautiful witches, right? So chives is one of those that is really easy to get started, because once you plant a chive plant, all it really needs is full sun and well-drained soil, and it will just produce for you all year long. Now, there are a ton of health benefits to chives, and I've written down this list just because I wanted to make sure and give you a comprehensive list. And it's a lot with a lot of these other herbs like garlic and onions. It's in the same family. But chives is just so easy to use, and it's so safe and effective for anyone to consume that there's no reason not to add chives into your daily life, from my perspective. So one of my favorite things is that it's high in vitamins. And it's got vitamin A and vitamin C, but my favorite is that it contains a very high amount of vitamin K. And vitamin K is important for blood clotting and also for bone health. In fact, 1 tablespoon of chopped up chives has more vitamin K than a full cup of spinach. So if you think about adding chives, not just as a garnish or a flavor, but for its simple, powerful health benefits, that alone is a very good reason, right? So that is one of my favorite health benefits. Now, it has also very high antioxidant properties. So it contains flavonoids and sulfur that helps fight oxidative stress and inflammation. In fact, you look a lot at these green herbs and almost all of them contain anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. It's a digestive aid, it's great for heart health, and it also is really, really good for your immune system, which almost all of the green veggies are. Super easy. Now, what I did is I found some modern studies because what I love is that it feels like modern research and modern medicine has been trying to catch up. And a lot of people need the validation of a scientific research or a clinical study and that's all good. I know we live in a world of information and education, and many people are not quite as tapped in and tuned in to their intuition and just their knowledge that something that you grow and learn about, and something as easy as chives or basil or tarragon or oregano, some of these common herbs that we all love and use, our intuition just tells us that these things are good for us. In fact, I think we start to crave things that our body is needing the nutrition for. This has been the way it is since human beings were roaming around the earth. We would find things that not only taste good to us, but we start to crave them because our body is wanting the nutrition. So I found some really great studies that I'm going to share with you quite simply. So here's one from 2024, so just last year. So what they found is that chives contain high levels of antioxidants. The compounds will protect the body from cell damage that's caused by free radicals. That's what an antioxidant does. So this is why this matters. When you eat fresh chives, it gives your diet a boost of protective plant chemicals that will literally support your long-term health, because that's what antioxidants do. And this study from 2024 proves it. And of course, this is something we know, right? Then there's a study from 2021, and this was, so let me read what I found. Scientists discovered that there are tiny natural nanoparticles inside of chives that calm down overactive inflammation in the body, okay? And they showed that this reduced liver injury and improved glucose intolerance. I mean, that's amazing. And here's why this matters. Chronic inflammation is linked to many diseases like diabetes and heart disease. Well, here's what it says. These nanoparticles may someday be developed into natural treatments. This is a literal sentence I found in this study. It's like, maybe someday we'll be able to develop this into a natural treatment. What I say, guys, go get some chives, grow them in your garden, and consume them every day. You don't have to wait someday for them to be formed into a natural treatment. Okay. That to me is the most powerful takeaway from looking up these modern studies. All of these studies. It's like, okay, you need the proof. I know many people need proof. They need scientific evidence. And to me, there you go. Now here's just a small one from 2017. Extracts made from chive leaves reduce swelling and markers of oxidative stress that induced inflammation. And this is why this matters. This shows that compounds in chives help the body fight inflammation, and it lowers those markers, okay? And then this last one. And this is about, I found this about fermented chives, which I've actually never fermented chives, but this might be a good reason to do this, because we know that anytime you ferment vegetables, it creates a lot of beneficial bacteria that works on our gut microbiome and makes sense if you're going to be using something like chives to improve digestion. And this is one thing that's very, very important to me because I've always had a sensitive digestive system. My body doesn't like a lot of the things that are out there, the processed food, the fast food, the dyes, and all the chemicals. I don't think any of our bodies like that, but I think some people are a little more tolerant until finally the body goes, uncle, stop, and it causes some kind of problem, right? So chives has always been something that I've paid attention to. So adding fermented chives improved gut health, boosted immunity, and reduced the harmful bacteria without antibiotics. This was a study just this year, guys, 2025. So if you're watching this way down the road, this was a study done in 2025 on fermented chives, okay? And this is why this matters. This supports the idea that chives have antimicrobial and immune supporting benefits. Okay, sometimes we need modern medicine to confirm it for us. Okay, so here to summarize this. Chives are rich in antioxidants, which protect your cells. They reduce inflammation. They have compounds that provide naturally anti-inflammatory properties. And for me, I think if you just want to add chives because they taste delicious, they make any of your cooking offerings to your family beautiful because you chop up chives and sprinkle it over your meal. There's many, many reasons to know and use and love chives. In fact, I would love to know what you think about chives. Is it your favorite? Is it just a part of your garden that you just utilize and you don't really think about it? Or are you in like kind of deep gratitude about what some of these amazing, long loved plants do for us? So thanks for tuning in today, guys, and we will see you in the next one.